10th edition is on its way, and along with it the new Leviathan box containing a multitude of fantastic looking Tyranids and some really nice looking Space Marines on top, including new Terminators, which is why I'm excited. However, we do have an issue, and it's an issue of supply. As we all know, right now it's extremely hard to get hold of new releases, just in general. Between scalpers buying up literally everything and just supply issues in general, the chances are that if you're looking forward to Leviathan and you really want it, and you make sure you're there spot on, dead on the time it goes live, you're probably still not going to get one, which sucks. But don't worry, because there are things you can do to prepare yourself for this eventuality, and things that you can do instead of tucking into your brand new tasty Leviathan box when you inevitably fail to get your hands on it. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Yep. Alright, fine. I guess we're just going to do this from up here now. I didn't mean to press that. I only wanted to raise the desk a little bit because I whacked my knee on it because I had it too low, but we're up here, so let's just carry on. So you are excited for your brand new box of plastic crack, but there's a high chance you won't get it. There's a high chance that you will in fact fail to achieve your ultimate goal of having more plastic to add to your pile of plastic. So what can you do instead? Well, the first thing that you can do is go to eBay. Because of course we all know that when this thing launches, there's going to be roughly 1 million copies available for the low price of 4 times what it's actually worth on eBay because of the amount of scalping that's going to happen. Look, the option's there. I'm just saying, you don't have to do it. In fact, I'd recommend that you don't do it because that's a silly thing to do. But there is the option there. You can just go to eBay and spend even more money than you would otherwise have spent on this thing that is already going to cost quite a lot of money. And yeah, it's a thing you can do if you like. This isn't actually serious advice. I'm not genuinely suggesting that you go and get boxes off eBay that have been scalped. Don't do that. Stop doing it. If you stop buying it, they'll stop scalping it. It's really that easy. Alternatively, there's going to be a few of you who I'm fairly sure will have 1 or 2 models laying around that you have not got round to using yet. That you haven't got round to finally assembling and painting. I'm going to suggest that there's going to be at least 4 of you that have got boxes of plastic piled up as high as this, about this. I'm only saying that because I'm looking over there, where there is plastic piled up to about, actually higher than this. It's almost touching the ceiling at this stage. I know there's more of us out there, and I know that some of you will be looking at the Leviathan box and going, I need it in my life. I've got to have it. What else could I possibly do? What you could do is not buy more stuff and paint the stuff you already have. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a massively hypocritical statement to come from me, when I have so much Archon Studio scenery that if that pile fell over on top of me whilst I was looking at it, I would actually die. But, in my defence, I didn't pay for all of that. Some of it was promotional material, and that doesn't alter the fact that I still haven't put a lot of it together or done anything with it, so actually, that's not a defence at all. That's just being hypocritical. Let's be totally honest here though, if you didn't like me being hypocritical, then you wouldn't be watching this channel in the first place because it happens all the time. The third thing that you could do, if you want Leviathan and end up not getting Leviathan, is you could simply take the money you were going to spend on it and save it in order to buy the models later on. You won't be able to get all of them for the same price, but you'll be able to get some of them for a bit more. Who am I kidding? Don't do that. No, just spend it on different plastic. Oh, you can't buy the bit of plastic you really want? Well, guess what? I'm pretty sure there's more plastic that you do want that doesn't happen to be in that box. Just buy that instead. I mean, you were already years behind in terms of your backlog. There's already so much stuff you should have got done already. You were already planning to not do any of that. So why not just go ahead and buy that thing you've always kind of wanted? It's about the same budget, about the same cost, but you just never really found a use for it. Well, now it turns out you do have a use for it. It's your Leviathan replacement consolation prize. That's what you should do, 100%. This is becoming a repeated theme of this video. I really hope that you realise I'm taking the piss at this point, but don't actually do that. Don't do that. I mean, let's be honest, there's some great third-party miniatures out there. You could go to Creature Caster. They've got some fantastic sculpts. This is just the same thing as what I said before, but for other companies. Also, I mentioned Creature Caster. They're not sponsoring this video or anything. I don't think they'd want anything to do with this, so sorry? Stop Hammering! Anyway, this is all a very chaotic, roundabout way of saying that FOMO is a very real thing. It's something that Games Workshop kind of relies on a lot when it comes to the excitement and hype they build up for new products, and it's never going to be more powerful than at the launch of a new edition. 10th is on its way, 9th has overstayed its welcome for most people, and they have done the classic thing that Games Workshop are very good at doing, because they are playing on the whole, heartstrings. They're playing on the nostalgia. I would be lying if I said I don't want the content of the Space Marine half of Leviathan. I absolutely do. I'm a massive fan of Terminators. I love Terminators to death. There's a whole episode of Adeptus Ridiculous where we just talk about Terminators because I guest hosted and we wanted to talk about Terminators. I really like them. And it would be really nice if I could get them straight away, but the chances are I'm probably not going to be able to, and that's okay because they're going to exist outside of that box. This is not the be-all and end-all of getting into the 10th edition of Warhammer 40k. All the stuff that you had before, you'll still be able to use. Unless things get moved into Legends, but that's a whole conversation for a different video. The fact is that it's not the end of the world if you can't get Leviathan. The most important part of the hobby is how much you enjoy it, right? Whether that be modelling, painting, gaming, a combination of all three, whether it's you being a casual player and just playing with friends, or whether you're rocking up to tournaments every single weekend. Either way, the key part is enjoyment. And there is nothing less fun than working yourself up into a frenzy over something that you then can't get hold of. The main counter to Games Workshop's hype and Games Workshop's reliance on the excitement of the community is to hold yourself in some sort of steady regard when it comes to how excited you get. Would I like a copy of Leviathan? Yes. Would I enjoy putting it together? Yes. Does it really matter if I don't get that on day one? Not really. Everything that's in the box is going to be available outside of the box. The only thing is you might have to wait slightly, but there's a difference between waiting and never ever getting. And when it comes to this box, they're not going to just do the sculpts for that one box and then make them totally unavailable. They're not going to take the rules that are in Leviathan and make it so that no one else can play them. Everything that's in there will be available in due time, and whilst it might not be as fun having to wait to be able to get hold of that stuff, it's still a lot more fun to get it later and not end up crushed under disappointment by not getting it early. All jokes aside, the best way to maintain excitement over something I found is to make sure that you're not overwhelmed by it in the beginning, and the fact is that Games Workshop relies on that hype and overexcitement to shift this sort of thing as quickly as possible, and the end result of that is that people will be left disappointed. But you know what? You don't need to be disappointed, because your time will come. Besides, as a last-ditch attempt to stave off that feeling of dissatisfaction, you can always just move over to Age of Sigmar, because let's face it, a lot of the models are better there anyway. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Stay strong, fortify that mind against the danger of FOMO, and I will see you for the next one. Oh, there's all links and stuff, like subscribe and Patreon and Element Gamers and stuff. There's loads of stuff to click, so you could, just click it if you like. You don't have to click it, it's totally up to you, but it'd be nice if you did. Absolutely worst ending ever. I was just about to stop the record and I just don't know whether to leave that comment about Age of Sigmar at the end. I feel like that's going to really annoy some people, but then, is that a reason to keep it? I don't know. I don't know either way. I guess I'll leave it and find out.